or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're well. Today we've got some really lovely bracelets for you. I'm doing some chainmail. I'm doing a Byzantine weave, and I find, really straightforward. Once you've managed to create that kind of little knotted effect using those jump rings, it just becomes, I think, very straightforward and a really lovely make. It is at the moment, because obviously tastes change as you progress with things, but it is my favourite chainmail or chainmaille weave to do. And we've got some gorgeous gemstones. And when I say we've got some bargains for you today, I am not exaggerating. We have gemstone bracelets, and the price that the warehouse has put on this, I think, is just incredible. They're really lovely. I'm wearing one here. It's really comfortable to wear. We've got 6 gorgeous colours for you to choose from. Not only can you choose your different gemstones, but you can also choose your different colour of jump rings as well. So I'm going to say a quick good morning to you all before I take you over to the website and show you where to get the stuff if you want to play along with me today. Weather-wise, I'm just delighted. It's gone a little bit more overcast right now, as I've mentioned it, but we have been having lovely bright sunny days. It's been just lovely, really lovely. I've had floaty dresses on and my sunglasses out. I've even had my sandals on. So really lovely. Hopefully it will be a nice weekend. I think it might change as of Sunday, but there you go. You can't win them all. Good morning to Rachel. She says, good morning from a bright Barrow and no rain. Lovely. Good morning to Edward. Hello to Sue. Good morning to Lisa. Good morning to Teresa, and Elaine is in as well. Camille is saying, lovely day here. Hope you enjoyed your week. It's been an odd week. I think because I wasn't with you on Monday because we had the bank holiday. I'm really kind of thrown with my days, and I felt like this morning as I was setting up, I thought, it feels like I've not done a live for ages, and I completely forgot it was because we had bank holiday, didn't we? Good morning to Carol. Hello to Mel. Good morning to Mina. Hello to Barbara. And good morning to Sheila. So everybody seems to be suggesting the weather is lovely, but that might just be in the UK. So if you're watching from somewhere else, let me know what the weather is like where you are. We've got an absolutely fabulous anniversary deal on for you today. So Totally Beads, a lovely family-run business. I joined the team, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun. But Totally Beads been established for 20 years, which is just incredible. So congratulations to them. And they've got a lovely offer on for you. So we'll show you that on the website as well. But the offer is, I've written it down, spend £50 and use free kits to get a free kit worth up to £10. So that's nice, isn't it? Good morning to Lisa. Hello to Anne. Hello to Teresa. She says, the bank is always taking holidays. We won't go there. Good morning to Barbara, who's in southeast Pennsylvania. And Mel says it's cold tonight. She's in Australia. How lovely. So we've got people watching from all over the place. So thank you for joining me wherever you are and whatever time it is. I'm going to take you over to the website now. So if you want to get these kits, head on over to totallybeads.co.uk. We've been doing live tutorials, I think, for about 4 years. So yeah, I must have joined about 3 years ago, which just seems crazy. If you click into our video tutorial, in fact, let's just have a little look at this. This is what I'm telling you about. Celebrating 20 years of beading, free kit worth £10 when you spend 50. So your voucher code is free kit and your kit's worth up to £10. You can get multiple kits here for less than £10. Wait till you see the price of these. So these are all the lovely things that we've been making over the last couple of weeks. We did the beaded tulips again last night. Kitty did them for you. We are now doing a Totally Beads live on a Thursday evening as well. So that might work out a little bit better for you if you want to catch up with some bits and bobs that we've been making. But today is the Andrea Gem Chainmail. I never know how to spell chainmail. And I've seen big debates on whether it's chainmaille, chainmail, how it's spelt, if it's got lots of L's and I's in it, all sorts of things. But I'm just going to refer to it as chainmail. And this is like a Byzantine weave that I'm doing. Look at the prices of your kits today. £3.99 for a gemstone bracelet. Look at them. I think that's incredible. I did double check with Simon this morning and I said, have you made a mistake? You do know the gemstones, yeah? So we've got the gorgeous amethyst, which is a beautiful purple colour. I'm not going to speak to you too much today about the properties of the gemstones because I've used all of them before. So if you want to find out things, you can always look back at past makes or have a little internet search. But I'm very excited. We've got black jet. Now, I am a big fan of jet. I went to, in the UK, there's a place called Whitby, which is very, very famous for its Whitby black jet. And it's just a fabulous, fabulous gemstone. It's very, very lightweight because it's fossilized wood. So there's often a misconception. There's a myth that it's my monkey puzzle tree. What is that, like Chilean pine or something? It's not actually monkey puzzle tree. It's made from multiple botanical species from the Jurassic era, which I think they all think that all of those kind of plants and trees are now basically extinct. But it's absolutely gorgeous. When I went to Whitby, I did do a little bit of jet searching or hunting on the beach. I actually bought some from a little shop. The man was very, very nice, but I knew something called the streak test. So if you've got a little bit of sandpaper, you can rub very gently your jet on the sandpaper, and it should, if it is actually jet, it should do like a kind of ginger, kind of brown chocolate coloured streak. Obviously there's lots of other things that get washed up, not just like plastics and things like that, but people have been having like barbecues on the beach and coal gets kind of washed up and things like that. And I actually tested a little bit that I bought, and I discovered it wasn't actually jet. So I took it back to the shop with my sandpaper. I wasn't being all bossy. I was like, excuse me. And he was very apologetic because even the experts can get it wrong. So I'm delighted that we've got jet today. It is been very famous in kind of the Victorian era in the UK. It was used a lot as mourning jewellery, lots of like little carvings and sculptures out of it, and I think a really nice masculine look as well. Having the chainmail, I think, gives it a masculine look. Of course, in the UK, next month in June, it is Father's Day, so if you're looking for something that you think, you know, some kind of masculine jewellery, then this might be a nice weave for you to do. We've also got the carnelian, which is beautiful. We've got citrine, which is your stone of abundance. We've got fluorite, which is great for kind of the study stone, helps you concentrate and focus and revise. So if we've got a lot of people coming up for like GCSEs and exams and things, that might be a nice little gift. And we've got gorgeous garnet as well. And obviously garnet is January birthstone, amethyst is your February birthstone. So there's lots of different colours there, but it's not just the gemstones. The kits will contain different coloured jump rings and findings. So we've got a gorgeous magnetic clasp for you, and your callottes and your crimp beads will be matching to whatever those colours are. So in the amethyst is on silver, so you can see there how it looks. I will show you them down on the mat. I'm using a 6x1mm jump ring. That is your outer diameter, so I think the inner diameter will be 4mm, if I've got that right. The gemstones I'm using are 6mm in size. You've got that gorgeous magnetic spotted little magnetic clasp, which is beautiful, and that is all you need aside for your findings and a little bit of Tigertail to put your gemstones on in the middle just there. Again, you can add less gemstones if you want to. I like having an odd number. I think it gives a nice kind of visual focal point, but you might want to add 3 on and keep 2 back to make a little pair of earrings or something. But all of your kits today are just £3.99. So in your jet, you've got some beautiful kind of black plated findings in terms of your jump rings and your clasp there. We've got the carnelian, which is on the gold. which is kind of like a yellow gold colour, which I think really brings out the warmth in the carnelian. Really, really lovely. For the citrine, I've popped them on the champagne jump rings and findings. So you will have a little gold clasp with that, but it all ties in very, very nicely. So this is on the champagne. On the fluorite, you've got rhodium findings, looking like this. And you've got garnet as well, which is, I think the garnet's on the rose. So you've got kind of like a rose gold kind of colourway there. So they're your gorgeous colours today. £3.99 for whichever one you choose. You can buy multiple ones if you want to as well. Don't forget, if you have done a little bit of a shopping spree and you have spent over £50, then do make the most of that offer today. If you put in the code free kit, you're going to get a kit worth up to £10. So Andrea Chainmaille is today's live, and they're all your colours for you. So in terms of the things that you will need to make this, I'm going for 2 pairs of pliers. So you want kind of flat pliers or chain nose. You can use, we do little rings as well. I don't think I've got one to hand, but we've got them on the website, which they're jump ring openers. So you just pop, it's like a little ring on your finger or your thumb, and you can just open it up against that. I like using 2 pairs of pliers. You're going to need some wire cutters to cut that tiny bit of Tigertail that we're using, which is in your kit. And I like to use an eye pin. So the eye pin I'm using will not be part of the final piece, but this is what I use to kind of flip open my jump rings to get my extra jump rings in. In terms of how many jump rings you're going to need, you're going to have enough in your kit to make a full bracelet. And I've done some quite long bracelets. I start off using 14 jump rings for the first part of my weave, and then 12 thereafter. That's how I use it anyway. But you can change the length of this really easily by just adding less or more in. Or of course you can add in less gemstones. I think the gemstone section in the middle is just under 2 inches. So I've got quite small wrists. So I've done this one and I've probably got about 2 inches of the chainmail weave on either side. But again, if you want to make that larger, you just add more in. And you might want a little scrap piece of wire or something, or maybe a key ring or something, just to hold on to when you first start that weave. But that is all you're going to need to make a lovely, lovely bracelet. I'm just going to go back in the comments because I think there is some questions. If you've got a question, please do just pop that in the comments. I will always go back and try and read any comments if you've left them after I've finished the live. But if you want to comment on my YouTube, which is Natalie Patton Jewelry, I'll get notified of those questions, but I'll go back into the Totally Beads one just in case. Mel says she's in Australia. Hello to Kel, who's in Maine. Teresa's giving me a smiley face. Anastasia's in. I'm not too sure what time that will be for you, Anastasia. I will find out for you. It depends, I think, whereabout you are. I know you're in Atlanta, but I'm not too sure. If anyone knows what time on a Thursday, I think it's 6 o'clock UK time, but I'll double check for you. And you can go back and have a little look on YouTube. They'll all be stored there. Hello to David, how are you? Rachel's asking, what is the metal of the jump rings? I'm allergic to stainless steel. They're not stainless steel. Let me see if I can check for you, my lovely. I assume it's, let me see, does it say? Just having a little look. It's not giving me the metal, sweetheart, so I do apologise for that. I will check for you. I'll ask the warehouse to have a little look. They will know. I'm assuming it'll be nickel free, but I'm not exactly sure. So if anybody knows, please do drop that into the comment section for me, and I'll let Rachel know. Camille says she likes the carnelian. Good morning to Joanne. She said it's lovely, bright and sunny in Coventry. Sally's in as well. She's in beautiful Torbay and the sun is shining. Peace and love to Anastasia. Thank you for popping in. Good morning to Pauline. Anastasia's wishing everyone peace and love. She's tagged loads of yous in. Good morning to Rachel. Hello to Hannah. Joanne saying she's loving the jet black. I think, you know, you're a monochrome lover, aren't you, Joanne? So I do think they look lovely with the black plate. How many gemstones do you get in the kit? 5, I think. Yeah, you should get 5 gemstones in your kit. So 5 gemstones, all of your findings, your magnetic clasp, and your jump rings for the absolute wonderful price of £3.99, and we do ship worldwide. Hello to David, who's making bag charms. These would be nice as bag charms. Obviously, I wouldn't make it as a full bracelet. I'd just do a length, and you could do the chainmail like that. Anastasia's asking what the code is. If you spend over £50, it is free kits, and you get a free kit worth £10, Anastasia. Good morning to Debbie. Joanne saying Facebook's gone down. Wonderful. I'm frozen on Facebook. Teresa's asking, I see Tigertail is used with the Callottes. Is it possible to use wire instead? It is, yeah. You could do a wrapped loop on either end. That would work absolutely fine, yeah. You could totally do that. Camille is saying about Facebook being frozen. Mina's come back. She's found us on YouTube. Yeah, Anastasia, you could use wire. That's no problem. I would use a 0.6, maybe a 0.8. You get a nice curve in it as well, I suppose, with the wire. I wouldn't do the pull back through method that I've shown you before with the orbit necklace, because I think you want to make sure it's sturdy and strong, but a wrap loop either side would do just a good job. Yeah, I mean, I know the UK time. I'm just not sure what time it is in America. But if you could have a little look, Anastasia, what time is it such and such when in the UK, and it might come up. David is having another craft fair on the 18th, so good luck for you. And he says it's very warm in Haroldwood in Greater London. Right, that's the chit chat and the admin over. You've seen the stuff. Let's get going. These are the gorgeous bracelets. So you've got your amethyst. I'll take them off, in fact, because I've got them on my wrist as well. So this is your amethyst. I'm hoping we get some good focus today. Beautiful, beautiful purple colour, and they are on your silver. And of course, you've got that lovely magnetic clasp. So they're really gorgeous and comfortable to wear. We've got the jet, which, as I say, are really lightweight gemstones because it is just fossilised wood. Absolutely beautiful. I will move over. We've got the fluorite, which I'm wearing here, which is on the rhodium. And of course, your fluorite's going to give you lots of different colours. So you might get some purple ones, some kind of green coloured ones, more clear ones. It's a real mix. Carnelian is beautiful. And again, you're going to get real changes in the colours there, but they're predominantly kind of lovely zesty orange colour. And they are on your gold. Because we've got the magnetic clasp, they're really easy to take on and off. This is your citrine, and the citrine is just beautiful. Really, really gorgeous. And we've got the garnet. I do love garnet. So you can make this as long as you want by just adding in that extra weave. So this is the kind of weave that I'm creating. Joanne says my favourite colour is blue, any blue, closely followed by every other colour and shades, artistic in nature. Teresa, the gemstone beads are 6mm in size, so they're a nice size there. I think the Goldilocks size, they're not too chunky, but they're substantial enough. So I say, you know, these could be really good kind of Father's Day gifts. You've got like a quite masculine look. You don't even have to include the gemstones if you don't want to. You could just keep going with the jump rings. So let's get making. How I'm going to start is I'm going to just get myself a little pile of open jump rings. So I'm using all the same size jump ring for these, and you can change up the size if you want to. Not really great on working out what ratios work best together, but you can see that this is giving quite a nice look using the outer diameter 6x1. So what that means is the outer diameter is 6 millimeters, so the inside I think is about 4, and the wire gauge that we're using is a 1 millimeter, which I think is 18 gauge. For those of you that work in those. So all I'm going to do is just open up a load of jump rings. I use 14 to start my weave off and then 12 thereafter. So when I'm opening my jump ring, it would help if I was in shot. I do apologise. Let me get under the camera. If I'm opening a jump ring, all I'm doing is I'm taking both pairs of my pliers, and I'm getting quite a lot of surface area and just giving it a little twist. And I twist it towards me. The reason why I open it up to begin with is because I find it's really easy then to just pick them up off the desk. I am right-handed, so if I flick it up this way and turn it towards me, then I can just pick the bit that's sticking up off my mat or my whatever surface I'm working on. So I'm going to open up a load of jump rings to begin with, and then I'm going to have 2 perfectly closed ones. What I might try and do just to start off is use a mix of the colours, just so I can kind of explain it a little bit to you in terms of what goes where, just to start off with. It really is very straightforward, so please don't be panicked by it. It will make sense once you give it a go. So I'm going to open lots of my jump rings. David, you're most welcome. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to close 2 perfectly. Now, when I get them out of my bag, they are slightly closed, but not fully. So if you can see there, the one that I've got out of my bag, can you see that's kind of staggered? They're not meeting up. And that's because when they are made, they are they're wrapped around like a dowel, and then they're cut, so they won't always be perfectly lined up. So when I'm opening a jump ring, I am just twisting it open by bringing it towards me by just a few millimeters. And then when I'm closing it, I'm going back in the opposite direction just to make sure that those 2 ends meet really, really nicely. So I'm going to start off with a load open and 2 closed. Now, if you want to, you can thread on a little bit of wire or something, as I say, just to kind of give yourself a little bit of purchase or something to grip onto. So opening the jump ring, closing the jump ring, making sure it's nicely lined up. So I'm going to take 2 of my jump rings, the closed ones, and I'm just going to thread them onto, in this case, it's just a little bit of wire, just to give myself something to hold on to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 2 of my open jump rings. I'm going to use a different colour just for now, just to show you. So I'm taking the open jump ring and I'm threading that through the 2 closed ones. So in this case, I'm picking up a silver. And every time I put a jump ring on, I'm going to put 2 on. So they always go in pairs. So I'm picking up the silver this time, just to show you. And that's threading on through those perfectly closed ones. And then I'm going to pick up another open jump ring. This time I'm just going to go with the black plate to show you. And I'm threading that on to the last 2. So I always work in pairs, and I'm always going to use 3. So 3 pairs. And every time I get to this bit, I'm going to start the little knot, and I'll show you how that does. So I'm picking it up and I'm just sliding it on through both of the last that I've put on, and then close it up. So you should have something at the moment which looks like that. Now, this is where the magic happens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch or hold on to the bottom of that little bit of whatever, and I'm going to let these two, the black ones, so the last ones I've put on, fall to the side. And when they fall to the side, they'll fall towards the first ones I've put on, so the gold ones. I'm using my pin because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up those middle ones so they're silver. So I'm dropping the last pair out to the sides and then opening up the silver. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pin and I'm just going to run it through. If I can get it under the camera to show you, I will just catch the two little bits of the black plate ones that have just opened out. And by just popping the jump, you can use anything. I use an eye pin, but you could use anything, like really, just to kind of catch it. Because I'm under the camera, it's not gonna do it easy without my fingers being in the way. So I'm opening out, and then I'm just bringing that pin through. Come on. So I'm catching the inside. Can you see that? There you go, I'm in shot. So all I've done is drop them out. I'm opening up and out, and then I'm catching that middle there, so where that pin runs through. Now, it's hard when you first do it because you haven't got anything really to grip onto, but as you keep going, it does get easier and easier because you've got some length to hold on to. So then I'm going to take my open jump ring. You can leave the pin in for now if you want, and I'm just going to catch where that pin was. So I've just took my jump ring and I've just caught that middle, and then I'm going to give it a close over. And again, anytime I do it in pairs. So I'm picking up another one and I'm just bringing that right through next to the last, and then making sure my jump ring is closed over. So it should now look like this. And then I'm going to do pinching that bit. I'm just going to add an extra pair onto that last one. I might do it in different colours again, just so you can see. It might be easier to explain. So I'm always putting two jump rings on at the same time, like next to each other, and I'm always using 3. So I've got my first ones on, which I've just caught through the middle, and then going to take my second pair and attach that through those, and again through those, closing it over. So I've now got 2 attached to each other, and then going to pick up another pair. So I'm just taking it through both of the last ones and then closing that over. So every time I've got 3 attached to each other, if that makes sense. I'm then going to pinch it to hold it. I let those drop to the side. So the black ones are going out to the side, the last ones I've put on. The silver's opening up in the middle. And I'm just taking my pin to catch through the centre. Camille says no comment, everyone's concentrating on your net. I hope I'm explaining it okay. It's so much harder to like write out the instructions and word it than it is to do it. I mean, I'm such a visual learner, and I'm hoping that the camera is focused enough that you can see what I'm doing. So once I've caught that middle I'm just taking the jump ring and sliding it through. I tend to leave my pin in, to be honest, or my little piece of wire, whatever, just so I can get it through. But once I've got that first one caught, then I can just pick up the next one. This is why I've opened them up first, because I can just slide it on through by picking it up and then closing it over. I'm only putting this pin back in now just to show you what it looks like. So that is your first section of the Byzantine weave. It looks really nice actually with those mixed metals as well, if you did want to, you know, swap round what colour jump rings you were using. And then it's just repeating that. So I'm picking up, just keep going with the same colour, picking up another pair. So there's one. Sliding my next one through. I think it is easier to show you actually using the different coloured jump rings. So I will do that in a bit. And sliding on the next one. So you can do, there's like a box weave as well, which is kind of like a variation. You just have like one in the middle. I like to do this, and I like to use 2 jump rings at each step. And when I get to this, I'm just making sure that's closed nicely. When I get to the point where I've got 3 pairs attached to each other, you see those gold ones, 1, 2, 3 pairs. Then every time I get to that stage, I'm opening out. So let them flop down, open the others out, and just slide my pin through to catch. You can then pinch it, and it does stay open. But if you just want to make sure you've got that space, you can keep your pin in before you attach the next. And every time I put one on, I'm putting another one on because I'm doing it in pairs. Does this make sense? Please let me know if I'm not explaining it clearly enough, and I'll do my very best to differentiate it and explain it in a different way. So for me, I start off doing this method with 14 jump rings, 2 perfectly closed, all the rest open. And then after that, I'll be using 12 because I'm going to be adding on to the last pair of links. Thanks, Teresa. Anastasia says, you really have to focus when doing this. I hope there's the great instructions that come with these bracelets. It is just the tutorial, so it's just this video of me explaining. I haven't done a written tutorial for this, but as I say, it is easy to do when you get doing it. So I've got my 2 on from my last one. I'll do it in a different colour this time. I'm adding on my next pair. Closing them up and adding on my next pair. So they just link through the last, going through the last 2 that I've added on. So hooking through the last 2. So I've now got 3 linked together. So I've got the gold, the silver and the black. Thank you, Joanne. I'm then going to pinch it, so it's much easier as it starts to grow because I'm not even holding on to this bit now. So I'm dropping the first 2 out. They can fall right down to those gold ones, and then opening out the silver, and I'm just catching the middle. So I'm catching the black ones in this case. So open out, open up, slide on through. And I find just by pinching it is creating that little gap. So then I can pick up my next and I can slide it on through. I've added on one. I'm now going to add on the second. So if it moves around, it doesn't matter, because that last one, that gold one's now keeping that space where I need. Hooking it through. And when it's got a bit of tension on it, so the more you add to it, you'll see it's starting to create this effect. Camille says, I like making chainmail, and she thinks it's clear instructions, which is good. Mel says, it's looking lovely. I'll have a go at doing it after I get home tomorrow. I find it, like, there's so many things you can do with this weave as well. Like, what I am going to do in a couple of weeks might be not next Monday, the Monday after. I'm going to do some more designs using this technique, and I'm going to show you how you can make beautiful earrings, beautiful necklaces and pendants, and you could make a bracelet with it or whatever. I have done it before. I have made earrings with it before, but I just feel like now I've got it, the possibilities of different things you can achieve with it is very varied. So that's, I'm going to do some more with you in the next couple of weeks. So master it and then come and play with me. So I've got 3 links of 2, one pair attached to another pair and attached to another pair. Every time I get those 3 links together, I'm opening out the last one, so dropping them to the back, splitting open the middle ones. So I just fold it that way, and I'm just taking my pin underneath, because I've moved from the camera. Let me show you again. So I'm dropping them out. I'm opening those ones out, and then I'm just going to catch through the middle. Chan says, I love these, Nat. I've ordered all of them. Thank you very much. So you can see I've just caught the middle. And then I'm going to pick up another one of my open jump rings, and I'm sliding that on through, closing it up, and taking another one of my open jump rings, just picking one up that's open a little bit more, and I'm sliding that through too. And it is just repetition of that until you've got the length that you want. Now, do bear in mind that I am going to, making this into a bracelet, I'm going to do 2 little sections of that. So I want those to be the same length. And then I'm going to add my gemstones in the middle. So you only need, a couple of inches of this. If you're adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of your gemstones in the middle and you're attaching that with a jump ring, that section will be about 5 centimeters, which works out at just under 2 inches. About 2 inches. Sorry, I'm not in shot, am I? So this section here with the gemstone is about 2 inches if you're including them all on it. So you can just work out the length that you want. I'll do one more and then I'll start piecing them together. So let me get a different colour out. So in your kit, you'll have all of one colour of the jump ring. So you'll have silver, the black plate, the rhodium, the rose, the champagne, or the gold. If you have done like Jan has, and you've multi-board, then you can of course mix your metals of your jump rings, the colours, or if you've got some in your stash, you can add to them. So focus. There you go. So I've got my last pair on. I'm going to add another pair. So just picking it up and sliding it on through the last two. So I've now got 2 on 2. I'm going to pick up another pair. And I'm going to slide that on to the last one I've put on. Making sure I'm closing them up perfectly as I go. Hooking it through the last, so in this case going through the silver, and I'm closing it up. So the last pair I've put on, which is the black plate, I am dropping right down to the sides and then splitting open the second pair, so the silver, and I'm just catching underneath the middle of the last pair. So it's the black ones, the last pair I've put on, which I'm essentially catching. If I hold that there, can you see what it is that I've gone through? Once that's kind of pinched together, that's going to create that lovely kind of knot effect. I'm then taking an open jump ring and I'm sliding it just underneath that last two, so the black pair, just catching the middle, opening, taking another open jump ring and putting that through. So I'm always working in pairs, and every time I get to 3 attached to each other, I do the fold back, flip open, and it will create this lovely weave for you. Anastasia says she thinks they will make great gifts for men. I think they will too. I think they're really lovely, and I love like mixed coloured metals, so I do think they look lovely. I mean, I've not kept the same repetition in terms of what order I've done the silvers and the blacks, but there you go. Really pretty. Rachel says she's probably going to buy the jet black as her sister likes black. So when I've created my 2 lengths, which are here, and I think I'm happy with that length, I can keep going, I can keep adding to them. All I'm going to do is just make sure that they're the same length as each other. And as I say, once you've got that tension on each end, it will hold that kind of Byzantine little loops together. So when I'm happy with the length, I'm going to take, if you want to do it with wire, you can absolutely do it with wire. If you've got some wire to hand, you could do a wrap loop with it. Your drill holes in your gemstones are a really good size. You could also, if you wanted, add little spacers in between if you wanted to. You could do whatever you wanted with this middle section. You could, I suppose, take a very long eye pin and you could thread them on directly into the centre if you wanted to. But in your kits, we've included some Tigertail. I think you'll need about 5 centimetres of this. I think I've included 10 in your kit just so you've got you've got that little extra. Jan says that's a very satisfying sound. It's like the clinking of my my materials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my calotte. Again, they will be in the same colour as your jump rings in terms of findings. And I'm going to slide it onto the end and pick up my crimp beads. Now, if you want to, you can fold this tiger tail back on itself if you want to kind of strengthen it up a little bit. And in that case, you can just bend it back through the calotte if you want to do it that way. And then with your let me get my other pliers out of my bag. Just want them a little bit finer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch down my crimp beads. So again, you can fold that down if you want to, or you can slide it right up to the end. But I pop my calotte on first. And then I'm putting on 2 crimp beads. I don't know why I'm not under the camera properly today. I do apologise. If you want to, you can slide it up, you can slide it down, whatever. So I'm going to slide my crimp beads up to the end. And I'm just going to flatten them. So they've gone from being nice and round to flat. I'm going to slide, take that kink out. I'm going to slide that calotte right up to the end and fold it over with my fingers, making sure those little holes at the end are nicely lined up together. It's not quite lined up, so I'm just going to give it a little push. There you go. Then I'm going to slide on my gemstones. I've got the carnelian here, and there's 5 of them. So I think it's quite nice to use that odd number because it gives you a nice kind of visual point to, just to me, it's more aesthetically pleasing. So you can see with all the tiger tail that I'm getting in my kit, I'm not going to need it all. So you've got plenty there if you do want to run it back through. I'm then going to take my other calotte, and that's going on. So it's going on this side. I want to kind of get my calottes to sit in the same direction. So I'm going to position it kind of just when I put my crimps on. I'm going to put my first crimp bead on and let that drop right inside of the calotte. Get it quite nice and taut, so give it a little pull back with my fingers on that tiger tail, and I'm just going to squish it right down to flatten it. Add on my next one. So adding my crimp bead on. Just feel like if I double crimp, it just gives it that extra strength and sturdiness. I'm going to open that calotte out just a little bit so I can get my crimp to sit closely on top of the last one. Trim off any excess or bring it back down through if you want to. Again, closing it over with my fingers. And then I will have trapped those crimp beads inside the calotte. Kind of fingers and thumbs with this today. There you go. So I've got that little beaded section. Sheila says, I've always steered away from doing chainmail, but Natalie, your great instructions are making me want to try. Oh, Sheila, thank you so much. I always get a bit, I don't know. It's because although I really enjoy doing it, it is still fairly new to me, and I just want to make sure that you give it a go, because honestly, I would have gone, oh, I can't do that. And then the minute I started it, it was like, this is super easy. Why haven't I done this before? All I'm going to do is I'm going to slide one jump ring through the end, so my last little double, and then I can add that through my calotte loops at the end. I'm only going to be able to attach this with one. There's no way I'm going to get two of those jump rings through the calotte. But if you are doing it with wire and you're doing a wrapped loop, then you can definitely, you know, wrap loop around two if you want it. Again, on the other side, if my little eyelets are lined up in my calotte, and I'm just going to slide that on through and attach to the other end of my bracelet. And now it's looking like this. And all I've got to do is attach my gorgeous little magnetic clasp. So the magnetic clasp has got those lovely little kind of pitted, spotted bits on it. Ooh, that's satisfying. And now I'm just again going to add another jump ring. So just hooking it on through one side of the magnetic clasp and through those last two jump rings on the end, making sure it's lovely and closed up. If you're not closed your jump ring up, you know, you might get a little bit that's, you know, that will snag, so we don't want that. Through the other end of the magnetic clasp, attach onto the other end of my bracelet, close it up, and there you have it. Ta-da! Robin said you came through right on time. I just think they're lovely and they are really, really comfortable to wear. This one's a little bit big for me, but this seems to fit me perfectly. So this might not come back to the warehouse. You might just spot me wearing that on a future life. John says, gorgeous, make. Thank you so much. To reiterate, your Andrea chainmail bracelets today with the Byzantine weave that we've just done are £3.99. You can choose from the fluorite with the rhodium, the carnelian on the gold, the citrine on the champagne. We've got the black plate findings with the jet, which I'm very excited about. We've got the absolutely gorgeous rose with the garnet. We've got the amethyst on the silver. So lots of beautiful bracelets to choose from. You can see it's really easy to vary the lengths, just depending on how many links you want to attach together. Oh, those magnetic clasps have just joined, and now I'm thinking, I want a necklace. I'm gonna stick them together, and then I'm gonna yes. See, possibilities are just endless. Shouldn't have done that because I'd have saved that for another make. And look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a multi-wear make in a couple of weeks, which means you can have a bracelet and a necklace. And I'm going to use some magnetic clasps. Anastasia said I just purchased some beads last week, just about all of these colours. And she says the bracelet's gorgeous. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here with me. Joanne says she can't choose. Looks like they're all going to be finding their way into a basket. I'm not being funny, but £3.99. Like, there's no way I'd be selling that for £3.99. Obviously, you've got to take into consideration the time that it's going to take you to put it together, your knowledge and your expertise. But like £3.99 and you're getting gorgeous gemstones in that. I'm loving that as a necklace. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. I'm looking forward to being back with you on Monday. I'm going to do some kind of floating necklaces with you on Monday, or illusion necklaces, depending on how you refer to them. We did them, when I say we, I think Sarah Millsop did one probably about 3 years ago, and I'm going to be using a similar technique. So please come and join me if you can for that. I'm loving seeing all of your comments. I'm sorry, Anastasia says I'm a bad influence. But you know, we've got some lovely things for you. I just show you them. It's up to you what you want to do with them. I hope I've inspired you today. I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. Take care, everyone.